Here is a really good picture of what the church used to look like. Looks like it was even before the Sunday school edition was put on.
I'm Harlan Deschamps. Brother Larry sitting to my left, and Mr. Bill Hine, which I know everybody in Fulton County knows. We're probably some of the oldest ones that attend our Siloam Church. I was, since a very young child, I've been coming to the church. I became a member of the church. And I was looking through some of the records, some of the old church records, and I found a book back there that had members in it, members' names, beautiful handwriting. Nothing was typed back then. And the date on it was 1881. Well, we've been trying to find out when the church was built, and really the ones that we could have asked are no longer with us, and so that information is very scarce. So we really don't know. So we know it was before 1881. 1881, there was 78 members to the Siloam Church, and reading off the names of those members, I come to the conclusion that if I can get my great-grandson in church, he would be the 7th generation of our family that has come to this church. So we have deep roots here. It's, I think, one of the most friendliest churches. We have always tried to treat everybody equal, everybody as a friend, and invite all that wants to come here. I know there's the original church was just this part here. Larry, I think, can remember a little bit more about the additions that was built on at one point, and I do remember this as a child. There was a huge white pine that sat out here in front of that grew out here in the parking lot. Yes. In front of the church. And I know it was there a long time because I can remember our mom telling us that when she was a child, her sister, somebody was carrying her sister out here in the parking lot, and she tripped over one of the pine roots and fell, and it was Aunt Grace was Mom's sister, and she was hurt, not bad, but she was hurt. So I know the pine tree was there when Mom was a child, and Mom was born in 1919, so it was there for a while, and so I don't want to take up all the time, so I'm sure Larry can
go ahead and take it out.
Maybe Larry can tell us a little bit about the festival building being built, the additions. I think he was involved in maybe even helping some with the
a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what date it was, but
Yeah. Bing was involved.
I know my uncle furnished the timber or the lumber fort, Jim Hawkins Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Helen's daddy. And Don Lake did most of the festival building out there where the tables are. We done that. That hasn't been there all that many years, that part. It's been a while. But
Yeah, I can remember as a little fella coming to the festivals, but I can't remember. I think whether we had whether the festival
I know
building.
we didn't have that big place where they sat under the.
Yeah, we didn't have the open.
The building was there, the little building where we served our ice cream and all
Yeah.
that was there, yeah. 'Cause we churned the ice cream by hand
Sure.
back
They
then.
have cake walks.
Cake
That's
walks.
that's why they recruited young fellows like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have a Model T engine running a ice cream maker.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's been with the Boy Scouts who were down in Needmore, who gave us those ice cream makers, and they were the ones that had mechanized them, I guess.
Yeah, we
There were people who determined men who determined what was appropriate for the ice cream making, and they had very definite opinions, and guys like me who were younger then just said, "Yes, sir."
Well, it was quite I know it was quite a big thing for our church when we had the festivals. Not only the funds, but just fellowship and we had. Oh, there would be. I'm saying hundreds of people would
Yeah.
come to our festivals and
The times we counted, there were 400.
yes,
It was not uncommon,
yes.
and it was sort of a community place to gather in the summer. And before then, Helen, who was our historian, if you will, wrote the original history of the Siloam Church, said that John Sipes built or provided the funds for the extension out here for Sunday school. And Ivan Hamill, whose funeral I preached, goodness sakes, made the woodwork
Yes.
that is here. And his family asked me to preach his funeral on that basis, because I had talked to Ivan. I was fascinated by the intricacy of this woodwork, and he and I spent some time going over it. There is a lot of history here. The floor underneath the sanctuary is rounded tree trunks, and there not much else was done to put them in a stone foundation. and really, you step back in time. We used to have records where there be 7 or 8 cents in an offering. 7 or 8 cents.
Yeah.
But that was hard to come by. Money was hard to come by in all 3 churches. We have a great deal to be thankful for, that people had the guts to spend their hard-earned money to build this church. And I guess it was in the 1880s?
Well, in 1881 is the first record that I could find, the earliest record that I could find. How much before that the church was here, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know either.
that was or Larry and I's great grandparents was on the list as members at that time, and that's why I say we can go back at least 6 generations, and with family members that has went to the Siloam Church, and but as far as the construction of it, who built it, I know Helen was our go-to person if we needed to know anything, find out anything. We go to Helen, and even up until her, well up into her 90s, she had the answers just like that. She was so good at remembering those things, but I wish now I would ask more.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she used to fill me up when I would go over there as a widower after my wife's funeral was done here. And then there was no carpet in the pews. I remember that. And my first visit to this church was just before my wife died, and she wanted her funeral preached by Donald Bard, who was the pastor then and had tended to her, and Phyllis helped me with the nursing responsibilities when my wife was home between visits to Johns Hopkins. And Donald wouldn't take money for Betty's funeral. He said, I would accept your joining the church. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And that's when I started.
Yeah, good.
And Donald was our pastor here with the full acquiescence of the conference back for 10, 11 years. and he was cheap. We got a pastor for, we put him through 4 years of college. We put him through the program that the conference had to make him a full ordained pastor, and they allowed us to keep him for almost 11 years, and that was fine, having, if you will, a hometown boy make good here at Siloam, and I was always proud that we were able to provide the funds so that Donald could go to school. And Phyllis, bless her heart, played the Eternal Father strong to save, whose arm has bound the restless wave, at my wife's funeral. And I got it from the chaplain at the Naval Academy just minutes before she died.
Well, you know, Phyllis, Donald's wife, grew up in this church.
Yes.
As a
Smith.
as a Smith. Her and her family. Hope and Frank was her. Smith was her mom and dad, and in fact, the whole family came here. We had a tremendous youth group here.
A lot of young people.
Oh,
went
a lot of young people, and we had a blast. I think one of the highlights of that was going to Cypher Beach roller skating.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sore bones and bruises when after that trip, but I think everybody really enjoyed that. And but we had a huge group here, which is what we're missing now. It's
well, all the straight families had 6 and 7 children, and they all
back then they was big families, and of course the straights, which is my mom was a straight, and so the straights made up a whole lot of the membership here. But we did a lot. Our youth group did a lot. Like Larry said, we had the cakewalks when we had the festivals, and that was always a highlight. Of course, we had the mothers of the Siloam Church was the greatest cooks in the world too. So they were, and
the greatest quilters.
Oh yes, and the greatest quilters. I can remember. I can remember of a quilt setting up in our living room. The ladies of the church would make quilts and then sell them, and so they would go to a different house and do a quilt, and so I can remember the quilt frame set up in our living room for weeks at a time, I guess, Larry.
Well, then they had it across the road in that building for years.
Yes, it was an old building across from our house, and
we had the old swinging bridge across Licking Creek when we was kids. We played on that.
Oh yeah,
Well,
you don't remember that probably, do you?
No.
Right here where the new bridge is, there was an old wooden swinging bridge, and I mean it was a swinging bridge.
High.
It was high, and Yeah, and there was the road went through the creek. There was a ford in there. There wasn't no bridge to drive over, so the only way to stay dry and go
Get
over
across
there
was across the bridge.
was to cross the swinging bridge. So yeah, we had a lot of fun on that swing. Somebody get out on there, and then we get to shaking it, as kids, and we had a lot of fun with
Well,
that.
I remember the day that I think it was Joycelyn's dad went across the wooden bridge that we replaced the
Yes.
swinging bridge, and went through the wooden planking
Thanks. Yeah.
in the bridge, and I think that was the point where the Department of Transportation determined that we needed something more substantial.
Yes.
But I remember Joycelyn. She was a good lady and working with the kids, and she thought she was too old to be working as hard and active with the kids as she was. And I remember one of the roller skating ventures that we made over to Bedford County, and she said, well, I have to tell you, there's one portion of my anatomy that hates this exercise. And she had spent a lot of time on her butt, I guess.
I think a lot of us did. Some of us, I say us, I don't think I was one of them, but some of them could skate pretty good, but there was
Yeah.
other ones that,
They came along. Though.
yeah, sure, everybody participated, but, yeah. And then we would have, like a Sunday school picnic. We would gather at, up on Siding Hill at the, picnic area, or at Jury Springs, which is out 9, whatever route that is, going towards Wells Tannery. Jury Springs Park was out there. We would have our Sunday school picnics there, and just good times, good food and good times, and
Yeah, and the world doesn't know the influence that you remember the Saunders family?
yes,
Doc McLucas sent one of the boys from that family right through med school. And he, of course, Doc McLucas is a icon to this community.
sure.
He never indicated that he was doing these things. He didn't do them for publicity. He just quietly spent his money on kids and scholarships. And really the scholarship program at the hospital is largely based on his getting started with his scholarship programs. And we are grateful that there were so many people around Siloam who cared for the people here. I was astounded that the Lutheran pastor came to my wife's funeral. And it was simply because they got along.
Yeah.
And he was sorry that she was gone. The watermarks in the pews were when Licking Creek decided to run over its banks, and we had water literally across the 655, and it was into the church. And goodness knows, I looked through the windows at the kitchen area down here, and it was full, and the icebox was floating around on the water and poking holes in the
Wall.
asbestos hanging ceiling. But we have kept the mark of that water in the church. The district superintendent at the time came out here, God bless him, to look at the damage that had been done. And he came to me after he had toured the place, and he said, I need $5 of my money in the wallet to get some gas to get home. But the whole rest of it, you people at Siloam can spend to make your church livable. And in a way, I'm glad that we have the watermark on the base of the pews, and it's still there because it marks the fact that this is not the Siloam Church. This is God's people.
Yeah.
And they have meant so much to me. Louise and I, my second wife, have prospered under the love that we have felt here. And it is a church that sticks together. Larry and Harlan raised some stuff on their garden patch, and it's always available to the neighbors and the people of Siloam. And we're grateful, those of us who can't raise radishes, I guess.
Well, I think that the roots run deep. We have a tremendous foundation here. I think we're really honest, loving church, and we really do. We invite all that would come join us. We have a good service here, and we would appreciate not only your participation, but just sharing the love of God with you.
Harlan corrected me. It's actually a Model T transmission that's on this ice cream maker, not an engine. But right there it is. An old Model T transmission that became an ice cream maker.